Hey guys, it's Jess, and I'm excited to share another Arteza review with you guys today. This time it's going to be for the 96 set of the Arteza Real Brush Pens in a travel case. So you can get these either on their own or they come in a travel case. In this case, I have them in the case. And I really like that they have the elastic bands that you can hold the markers really securely in place, and they don't go anywhere. It's got really secure Velcro on both sides. It even has some extra slots so that if you choose to get extra pens or you want to carry something else in there, you totally can. Now the barrel of the marker has a color name and an identifying number on it. And here's a look at the tip itself. Now this is a real brush pen, which means that it has individual hairs or bristles at the end. It's not a felt tip. And it does also come with a water brush. I really like that it's easy to refill. You just screw off the top, pour your water in, close it back up, and you're good to go. And I had really good results with that water brush, so definitely a plus for me. Now Arteza also sent me this mixed media pad, and I do try it with these watercolor brush pens, but I'm going to be totally honest, I didn't really like it for the watercolor aspect. I think this is going to be super great for my more mixed media projects. It's good for wet and dry mediums, but for these particular brush pens, I didn't like it. You can see here, I'm starting to try to do some blending. I wanted to do some swatches on camera, and I printed out these little labels for the color names. I did this on the watercolor, or on the mixed media pad that I had just shown. And as you can see, I can't seem to blend them really at all. I'm not sure why that is exactly. I mean, it's not watercolor paper, so I can't really fault the paper for that. It's just that it's not specifically made for watercoloring. It's made for mixed media, which means it can take water, but doesn't necessarily mean that it blends watercolors well. So that's just a difference in the paper. I found while I was experimenting with these that paper really does make a big difference. And I'll share here in a second the paper that I found seems to work the best for me that I tried. I certainly didn't try every paper ever, but of the ones I had on hand, I will give you a recommendation of what I would use. So I'm just trying out a couple different green pens here using the water brush to see if I can kind of blend them out from pigmented to basically almost white. Well, not white, clear, I don't know. Basically trying to see what the gradient is of these pens. And then I went ahead and wrote in the color name for each of those as well. Like I said, didn't get a great blend. I was just experimenting. This certainly worked better than it did on the mixed media paper, and you can see I'm kind of trying some different things here. So first I started with it dry. This time I'm adding in some water first and then trying to blend them towards the middle. Like I said, and like I will say forever and ever, paper is important. Eventually, I got smart and I decided to label the paper that I was using so that I could keep track of what was working and what was not working. I tried the Spectrum Noir watercolor paper for these markers. I didn't love the results. It worked, but it wasn't as smooth as I would have liked. I have used the Spectrum Noir watercolor paper for other things and had great results. So I really do think that it depends on the exact medium you're using and the exact paper, and you just have to find that good fit for what you have. Now I did find that Bristol Smooth paper seems to work the best as far as what I have tried. That's my recommendation. If you're going to use these, based on the things that I have tried, I would recommend Bristol Smooth from Strathmore. It has a smooth side and kind of a little bit more textured side, but it is a really smooth paper. And you can see that I started to get pretty good results there with those little fox images once I started layering on the color and adding just a little bit of water. I decided to go ahead and test out a floral image. This is one of my all-time favorite images. It's a stamp from Altenew called Garden Treasure, and I stamp and color this in pretty much every medium I own because it's one of my favorite images to color. It's simple, but it's just really pretty. So I decided that this was a good thing to test my watercolor brush pens on. So I'm just using a few shades of blue. I'm starting with the pigment in towards the center and using the water brush to blend blend out the color so that it fades out naturally, and you really do get that watercolor effect. Now, I do keep adding on more colors and kind of intensifying the shadow, and I'm actually really happy with the way that this flower turned out. I did go ahead and color this same flower in red and gray and I think purple, and I was happy with every version of it. I liked how all of them looked, and on the Bristol Smooth paper, it blended really, really well. So again, the paper definitely makes a difference, as well as the medium that you're using. Now, I will be completely honest, I did have some defective pens in my set. I want to be totally honest with you guys and make sure that you know that I'm sharing my honest opinions. So I did receive a few defective markers. What happened, well, the way I felt they were defective is that there was kind of a split on the end where the hairs didn't meet. They didn't come to a point. And so then when you try to color with it, it just gives you this big ugly smear on the paper instead of having a nice fine point that you can get into those cracks and crevices with. The good news is I was able to contact Arteza, and I just told them about my issue and what I was experiencing, and they sent me a whole new set. I would have been happy with just a replacement for the markers that were defective, because it wasn't all of them, it was just a handful, and they sent me a whole new set. So I'm really, really happy with the customer service. They stand behind their product, which is really important to me, and I didn't feel like I couldn't reach out to them. So that's a huge win for me, and that will definitely encourage me to continue to support them as a brand if they're willing to take care of their customers in that way. So if you ever do have any issues, just definitely give them a call or shoot them an email, whatever, and I'm pretty sure that they will take care of you the same way they did for me. But you can see this floral image coming together here, really intensifying those shadows with the darker colors. I do want to note that I'm really not using any water. I'm not squeezing the barrel. I am just letting the water flow into the bristles of the water brush, and just using barely what is on the brush tip itself. I'm definitely not squeezing. The space is just too small for that. So you want to be careful not to add too much water, because your image will blur. I don't know. It won't be pretty unless you're going for a loose watercolor look, and that's fine. But there you have it. I've colored up that whole image, and I will show you a peek at the other ones that I colored here. Let me know what you think about these. I definitely think they're great. They're an excellent price point, and especially for someone who is beginning and learning how to use a brush marker, a brush pen, I think this is a really good investment. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments, if this is something that you guys want to check out or try, if you have them already, and what you think about them. I'm going to give away a full set of the 96 Real Brush Pens, so if you'd like to be entered to win, just drop a comment on this video by October 17th to be entered. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to let me know what you think. Give me a big thumbs up if you like the video. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and I'll see you guys again really soon.